Hey everybody, CVH here, and today we are back with another Budget-ify video. I haven't done one of these since before Heroes of Skyrim's release, and I thought we could jump right back into things with Midrange Assassin, a very powerful and popular deck in recent weeks that we even ranked at Tier 1 in the Between the Lanes meta snapshot for the month of July. This is Synatic's build, one of the ones we referenced in the metagame snapshot, and if you're unfamiliar with the Budget-ify series, which I wouldn't blame you for since it's been a while since I've done one of these, and a lot of new followers and subscribers have come to the channel since then. What we do is take an established list, much like the one you see on screen, and we make it more budget-friendly and easy to craft for new players and free-to-play players building their collection up for the first time by removing every single epic, legendary, monthly reward card, and expansion card from things that you'd have to buy with money or gold. Obviously, Heroes of Skyrim is the first true pack-based expansion, so I will be allowing myself to use cards from this expansion since you can create them, you can soul summon them with soul gems whenever you want, basically, just like the core set cards. But for the sake of things like Madhouse Collection and Fall of the Dark Brotherhood, where you have to actually get the expansion or parts of the expansion using gold or money before you can make the cards, I do omit those cards from the list, which sometimes hurts a lot, as you'll see. But we will be moving with the core set and Heroes of Skyrim commons and rares only to a more accessible version of Midrange Assassin from Synatic's build. So first, a bit about the deck is pretty straightforward. We've budget-ified quite a few midrange decks on the channel. It's aggressive. That said, it doesn't have the lowest curve. It's not like a straightforward aggro deck. There are some late game options such as the Incano, Supreme Atromancers, and Tazcad, and these are there to primarily help us close out the game. That uses the Curse Goblin Skulk package, which has been very powerful against aggro and also helps you have big tempo plays thanks to Leaf Lurker, which we will be having to get rid of in this build. And besides that, you're basically just playing good things on curve and looking to hit your opponents pretty regularly in the face. So let's get to the replacements. If you want to see more about Midrange Assassin, I'm sure you can find other videos on the channel and check out Synatic's build on Legends-decks, of course. But for the replacements, the first thing we'll be getting rid of is Mournhold Trader, one of this deck's main aggressive 2-cost cards. So it does hurt to lose this. It packs a hell of a punch for a 2-cost creature. But there is a pretty good replacement in Daring Cutpurse, which is also going to be one of our go-to aggressive 2-drops now. It does have the added benefit of having Prophecy, and while it's probably not going to get up to the level of a Mournhold Trader in attack value a lot of the time, it will benefit from the Prophecy sometimes, just giving you that extra free 2 damage that you can use for facing or trading, and of course it does not have the negative downside that the Mournhold Trader has. Besides that, everything looks pretty good in the 2-drop section. The Skulks can stay with the curses, the Firebolts are great, Ward Crafters are great, Shrieking Harpy, obviously an amazing prophecy and helping you race to shackle your opponent's threats, but we do have to get rid of Brotherhood Slayer. Like I mentioned, we do not want to use cards in the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood. Well, we definitely do want to use them, but we can't use them for this video. That said, there is also another good replacement here, a 3-cost 3/3 prophecy with an upside. Looks like we have another one of those exact kind of things here. The only difference is this upside is guard. So this will make you a little bit better against decks that are trying to kill you. I mean, obviously as a prophecy, Brotherhood Slayer is an amazing card. You get to trade over your opponent's stuff and get the contract. I would play Slayer over Black Sap, but that isn't to say Black Sap's bad at all. Sometimes when you're getting beaten down in the Shadow Lane, you can plop this down from your hand and it will actually eat some damage, which is pretty useful sometimes in those matchups. 3 Cunning Allies. We will be sticking with the Cunning Allies, so my replacements, I'm going to try to keep an emphasis somewhat on the intelligence portion of this deck. Unfortunately, the next card we have to get rid of is one of the best intelligence cards in the game. 3 copies of Daggerfall. Hard to replace that kind of effect. Nothing really gives you the value of Daggerfall. You might be thinking of something like a Telvanni Arcanist to give you value, but I think at this point, we will also be making this deck a bit more aggressive. As you'll see, I'll be making this deck cheaper, not only in crafting cost with soul gems, but also in magicka cost. I'll do that, a little bit of that later, as you will see, but for that reason, I'm going to include Camlorn Hero. There's a lot of things you could put in this spot. I wouldn't blame you for putting Camlorn Sentinel in either if you're facing against more aggro decks. Both are commons, both cost 3, both fill the curve, and both are pretty good in their own ways. But since our primary goal with this deck is to not let our opponents live for too long, Camlorn Hero can help us out with that somewhat. So the Cunning Allies, the Lightning Bolts are fine. Mystic Dragon, will just mention, is one of the most fantastic commons from Heroes of Skyrim, so definitely get your hands on these if you want to play this Budget-ify Midrange Assassin deck. Queen Baron Xayah, unfortunately, we cannot play. I think it's very powerful in Assassin decks, but this version of Midrange Assassin was only playing 2 Royal Sages, and let's put in another very swingy turn 4 card, the 3rd copy of Royal Sage in place of the Queen. Now this is where things get a bit hairy. We have a lot of cards to remove that cost 5 and above, and of course this is where a lot of the problems come for budget players. They're looking at all this late game stuff in the top end, and it almost forces them into more aggressive decks. But we have some pretty reasonable replacements. First, I'm going to cut 3 copies of Leaf Lurker. I'll be doing a replacement moving forward that will sort of mimic the effect, but to simply replace the Leaf Lurkers, we have a card from Heroes of Skyrim that works very well with this deck, Sheer Point Dragon. Now you'll actually see this in quite a few Midrange Assassin decks. This card works very well with the curses, which we are keeping, and it's just a big tempo play on turn 6. It's obviously not quite as huge of a tempo swing as Leaf Lurker, just outright killing something, but Sheer Point Dragon can allow you to trade over things and just kill tiny things while you continue your push, and it can make those curses a little bit better in the late game. We also have to get rid of Thief of Dreams, another new card. Very good card for keeping up pressure, 5/5 body plus adding more cards to your hand. And to replace Thief of Dreams, what I'm going to be doing is putting in 3 copies of a 1-drop actually. This is what I mean when I say I'm going to lower the deck's magic cost somewhat. Crown Quartermaster, just one of the best 1-drops in the game. And since we don't have the full threat density of the full Midrange Assassin deck, the Crown Quartermaster lowering the magic curve and turning us a bit closer into an aggro deck should help us out somewhat. Next, we have to get rid of Ancano, Supreme Atromancers, and Tazcad. Incredible late-game cards that we have to cut, unfortunately. So, to mimic the Leaf Lurker effect, though, I will be adding 2 copies of Finish Off. Definitely not as good as Leaf Lurker in here because you really want the body, but since we have the Curse effects and the Sheer Point Dragons now, and the tiny Crown Quartermasters, which can often trade into something larger pretty easily, along with the Firebolts as well, Finish Off is probably not going to be dead too often. You just need to kill something. Finish Off can do the job pretty well. And for the last slot, I was back and forth. There are a lot of things we could potentially use, but like I mentioned, I am going to try to keep this deck mostly intelligence-based if we want to keep the Camlorn, or the Cunning Allies rather. So I'm going to try to aim for 30 intelligence for a 60% proc rate, which is pretty much bare minimum, but still probably fine. You could even play Solarist Marshals in green if you want. The issue is a lot of the 6-cost cards you might have to fill in the spot might be epic or legendary. If you've managed to get a couple, this would be a fine time to add them, but for the Budget-ify video, I cannot. For a defensive option, I was thinking about Conjuration Scholar, one of the new cards, but I have gone with a different new card, Icewing Dragon, and it's basically Large Shrieking Harpy. The stats on this card are not amazing, but it can help us race, and since we lost our 7+ Magicka cost cards, the Icewing Dragon can help us really try to end the game as quickly as possible. So I would still classify it as a mid-range deck, but definitely a little bit less viable in the late game, and there's not really a whole lot that can be done about that. As you can see, if you click the 7+, the only real things that aren't very expensive, or the only things that aren't really expensive rarity-wise, are just either not that good, like Dova of the Voice, or they are pretty defensive, like Chorus Reaper. So options are limited, but if you've managed to pick up a couple of the cards that we've replaced, definitely don't have to go full budget. That would definitely be better. But for the sake of this video, I think this is looking pretty solid. So without further ado, let's queue a couple games in casual and see how it goes. And as always, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more Legends content every day, check out my stream in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Here is some Budget-ify Midrange Assassin in casual. Got a Battle Mage first, traditionally more aggressive class, so we'll ship this entirely. Obviously we want to really focus on getting our 2-drops, and now that we have 1-drops in Crown Quartermaster, those as well. And the hand's alright, we have a 2, 3, and a 4. And a Lightning Bolt just in case.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
Alright, well, I want to take control of the field lane, so I will be putting the Harpy down. Oh, nope, I'll be playing Goblin Skulk on the field lane, as it turns out. And that's even better, because we get to search for that Curse, and Curse will take care of that more than likely, without even having to waste Magicka on it.
My friend would like to say hello. Do your worst.
I think I want to keep the Skulk protected and really cement my grasp on the field lane, although the favorable trade is somewhat tempting. I don't think we need to do it. We're just going to go for Sage next turn and continue pushing face.
Let's heat things up.
Maple Shield it is. Alright, we have to attack first if we want to get the Sage's effect, which I definitely do. Let's just do that.
I see
Well, with the lethal on that, we could just do the trade for him. Otherwise, he could maybe firebolt, then take a favorable. And that would be pretty annoying, so let's just do the trade here. Potentially missing out on some damage. And I'm going to save Curse. I don't think that 1/1 is threatening me too much. I don't see a reason to really use the Curse here. We could save it for a finish off, or again, to make it better with the Sheer Point Dragons. Or in combination with the Firebolt to kill that. So that was a raw Nord Firebrand, did not come off of a raiding party or anything. Let's push phase first, see what happens. Nothing happens, that's definitely good. And we could kill that right now, but we drew a 2-drop to go along with our 3-drop. We obviously have Harpy too, but again, not feeling the pressure really. I'd like to just put more things in the field lane and keep racing. We could put the Cunning Ally to contest that, just in case you want to make that trade. I don't hate it, but I really don't think I'm going to make him that trade.
Let's shed some light on the problem.
Not a bad hit. And of course, when you have effects that draw you cards, or cards like Cunning Ally, you'll want to be doing them after you attack with your Goblin Skulks. If you're doing both in the same turn, you want to get those curses out of there so you don't draw them first of all, or have them decrease your chance of hitting your Cunning Allies. Of course. We've all messed that up at least once.
A strong arm is what you need.
And we don't really care if he suits something up too big, because we can race really effectively just by shackling it, like we probably will do to that. Or Icewing Dragon also in the deck now. Yeah, it's huge, and we're just gonna shackle it. Alright, so I think we can send literally all of this to face right now. Let's go for it. Let's start with the largest thing. Come down to 16 there, get that buff on the 2/2. Go face here, I think. Yeah, I'm liking the face. Still liking his face here. And we can put this in the Shadow Lane. Sure, we're just gonna try to kill him next turn, right? We can Camlorn Hero.
I used to be an adventurer.
Get the Curse going, along with the Firebolt. Oh, we should use that one because he knows we have it. I forgot which one it was for a second there. I'll just go ahead and shackle the big one. Something tells me he's not going to keep track of which Firebolt he knows. But if he was keeping track, he now knows that I have a Firebolt still in my hand. I don't know how relevant that is here, but it is something that he may or may not know. Winter's Touch. If that was a Winter's Grasp, we might actually be in some problems. He's just really suiting that thing up. It's kind of a shame that it's never going to get to attack, unless we don't kill him this turn. Could just draw another Shackle effect too. We don't, so this is actually kind of funny, right? If we don't kill him here, for some reason, we might lose. I have to kill him. Let's get him with the Glyph Racer. So yeah, we basically took control of the field lane early and just beat him up with it. That's exactly what you want to do. You know, I'm just now thinking about it, but since we wanted to keep the core of the deck intact, I didn't do this, but you could actually play some of the 3-cost Dragon support cards. The Woodland Lookout in the green, and the other one in blue that gets ward when you play a dragon. I think that one's weaker, but it is blue. But maybe you could take out maybe Cunning Ally for the Woodland Lookout if you wanted to try. 3/4 that sometimes gains you 4 life when you play a dragon. There are 9 in the deck now, so it's something to consider. Don't know if it's better, probably not, but it's something to consider at least. Another thing to consider is we are up against mono yellow.
They make it too.
So let's go ahead and use the ring really aggressively. We do want to get on the board fast, like I mentioned. And his hand is pretty damn good early. See if he can test this thing at all. If he doesn't, he's going to be in some real hot water.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, that is really good for him. Obviously not for us. We could try to protect the Cut Purse by Shrieking Harpy, and then Firebolting it next turn along with Hero, maybe? It is somewhat annoying. I think I would like to protect the Cut Purse, if possible. Let's see if it is possible. But that does set us back a bit. That's exactly where we would have wanted a Black Sap Protector. And that's one of the situations where it'd be better than Brotherhood Slayer too.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
Yeah, see, now I don't want to use the Firebolt on it. Disappointing. Oh, well, okay, that works. So we can do that. We can protect the Cutpurse like this, even though we're not pushing face. Firebolt on that, and just have a grand old time. And we're both the pack leader. We're actually fighting for control of the pack right now.
So many purses, so little time.
Let's use the trinket first, I think. See what we draw.
Budget has had enough.
Your blood.
And you know, we could play 3 and 2, but I don't see a really compelling reason to Wordcrafter here. So let's just play Mystic Dragon. Keep pushing face. I like the Mystic Dragon on the left because if we're trying to protect the Cutpurse a bit longer, you play something there, we can easily trade with the dragon. It's a big 4/4 beat stick. And we won't have to sack our Wardcrafter or lose our Cutpurse to something. We could try to trade with that. It's a fine trade, obviously. If you're playing the value game, that's an amazing trade. But we are not. We are just playing the hit him in the face game.
Khajiit is having a good night.
And so is he, but we're winning that one so far. Ooh, we could do that with the Wordcrafter. Wordcrafter would be first, I think. Let's go ahead and do just that. Actually, could Wordcrafter itself in the right to take care of that. Let's do it.
Careful there, friend.
I see you're in need of my wisdom.
Breakthrough, 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 break. Okay.
Blood will spill.
Impressive for one without scales.
What can I say?
You have this one's gratitude.
The forest is my strength and my courage.
See, he knows about the power of Black Sap. Oh wait, no he doesn't. That's my Black Sap Protector. What am I talking about? He's mono yellow. Jesus.
Khajiit is having a good night.
Alright, see this is where finish off is not great, but neither would Leaf Lurker be. And the problem is that it just doesn't have a body attached to it either, so we're definitely not going to be able to use it. Hey, the breakthrough's actually pretty good though. Alright, so let's take that trade. Let's use one of our 4/4s to kill that. Smack him a bit. Smack him a bit more. Alright, it's working out. Hit him for a bit more. Might as well play this out, mostly for tempo. But it also protects the Wordcrafter. But even if we didn't have anything to protect, I'd probably just jam it here to give us the best possible chance of killing him next turn. And we also have a tiny thing in each lane, at least one tiny thing in each lane, so if there were a large guard, we'd have something to trade in that we wouldn't miss too much for the finish off. No matter where that goes, we don't have to lose too much to deal with it. So we do still have lethal. That might make it even easier. Let's just try it, see what happens.
Let's do this.
Does not. It's one of the risks you have having like a lot of not intelligence cards in the deck. We can just simply trade over that. That's actually not the way to do it. We should have hit there if we wanted the breakthrough damage too, but it should be fine. Should be totally fine. Got a finish off. Got the face damage. Got a bit more face damage. And yeah, okay, maybe he's not dead, huh?
By our service, we
Ooh.
honor kind.
I like it. It's alive for another turn. The 1 point of extra breakthrough damage would not have mattered there. But neither does the extra body that we have by doing it this way. Let's let him do the trade, and he also has to answer the entire other lane, which is kind of hard to do. And now at this point he's dead to Cliff Racer, he's dead to Lightning Bolt. If you were playing Encano and Atromancer, he'd be dead to all of those, which is why there's such great cards to close the game. That is... I don't even know what it's called, actually. Not Healing Potion, Apprentice's Potion.
You can't escape. You can't defeat me.
We're currently 3 off of lethal, which means all the cards I just mentioned still kill our opponent. That does not kill our opponent. It gets really close, though. If we were to use it on that, it'd have 1 health, we'd deal 3 breakthrough damage plus 4 breakthrough damage, but that lane is still a problem. We could use this to just kill that then.
You can't escape.
But I think I also like getting him down to 1, but we could just kill this. Let's see, he's not going to kill me next turn, he has 12 on board. It's only mono yellow. I think this is still fine.
Can't escape.
Doing this allows us to split the lanes. It actually keeps the 3/3 alive, which is nice. Yeah, I think this is probably fine. The difference between him at 3 life and 3 life and 1 life is pretty negligible when everything on the board has at least 3 attack. So I think this is okay, just making sure we can kill the most things, get that guard out of there. So in case he has another guard, Cliff Racer will still kill him. Assuming he can clear everything, that is. Which it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do. Nope, not at all.
You can't escape.
You can't.
We didn't get to experience the potential power of the Icewing Dragon, unfortunately. But the deck worked out, and we had lethal on board regardless, as well as an Icewing Dragon, just in case we needed it. That's a bit of mid-range Budget Assassin. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.